Pretty cold day. I don't really want to go outside. Pussy! Alright, that's enough. Hello everybody, I'm back already, and it's time to continue the story. So, this entire bit is going to be focused on casting. As I mentioned before, we had already found Kratos, we thought we'd found Cole. We had a few more roles to fill. First, Master Chief. During the script writing process, I'd actually gone through a lot of forums and Facebook pages and subreddits, trying to look for anything that might help me in learning more about Halo. As I mentioned before, I was a PlayStation guy growing up, so I didn't know as much about Xbox games as any true fan would. I wanted to make sure I was true to the source material. I found someone on a Facebook page who was not only really knowledgeable about Halo lore, but also owned his own Master Chief costume, and he was willing to help out. So, two birds, one stone. Remember, we didn't have any funding yet. We had no money to work with, so we managed to knock out both the Master Chief costume and the actor in one go, so that was really, really, really lucky. We also found someone for the role of Nick Ramos by the name of Steve. And finally, there was another gentleman named Tom who'd actually given me an audition for a role in one of his films that he was making. Unfortunately, he never got around to it, but he was willing to give me a part. So I figured it was nice to return the favor. He had some acting ability himself. Unfortunately, Tom became too much of a big shot and is now working on more stuff, and he didn't have time to complete my project. So we had to recast him. More on that later. When I put up the audition listings, I made it very clear that everyone who was applying needed to A, either be familiar with the game character they're applying for, or B, learn before you do. So I put up some links to some video game cutscenes that would really help them out and get to know their character. The person who auditioned for Colonel Raddick blew it away, because not only did he do a really good job with the voice, and the body doesn't matter, he's going to be in a full suit of armor. He found cutscenes that I didn't even provide. He went above and beyond looking at the source material, and I thought that kind of effort definitely deserved a spot. Not only that, he was a very capable actor, so I was happy to have Joe Williams on board as Colonel Raddick. Cortana was a bit of a drop in the lap. I was going through Facebook, and an old Facebook friend had posted another video that she was in. She had turned into an actress. Now, we had grown up together in Malaysia, and we'd separated a long time ago. Like, she came over to England decades before I did. So we hadn't spoken in a long time, but when I saw this video she was in, I decided to reach out to her. And sure enough, my old friend from kindergarten also was a massive Halo nerd, and jumped at the chance to play Cortana. So, yeah, another great find. However, no one auditioned for Sweet Tooth. Absolutely no one. And the people that did, unfortunately, they just couldn't commit to the role. I guess I understand why. It's a very frightening role. You got a mask on all the time. You got to be shirtless in England, and you got to be huge. And you got to wear a belt suit. It's about as intimidating as Kratos, and we got very lucky for Kratos. So, I was being used as a wild card. I could fill any character role within certain reason if they were missing, and it looks like we were missing Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is a big guy. So I needed to put on a lot of weight. I started piling on burgers and beer and pasta, and I was going to the gym and lifting as heavy as I could, but I guess my body isn't designed for that kind of weight gain. I just straight up put on fat. I wasn't getting as much muscle as I thought I would. My arms were still like kinda not impressive, and I had this big belly, like it was coming, oh my gosh, it was the biggest I've ever been in my life. But since I was so big, it was time for some extra sedentary activity. We were also making the props at the same time. The props and the costumes. A friend, Adam, and I were building it together in my place pretty much every day. So with all the casting pretty much done, or at least so I thought, because a number of these actors would leave us later, we started to look for locations. Adam had actually known of a place called St. Catherine's Hill. Now, I didn't know much about filming, but the only set I'd been on before was Scavengers of the Scarlet Waste by my friend Ken in Sydney. It involved quite a trek, to be honest. It was about a half-hour walk from the parking site to where we were actually filming in the middle of the sand dunes. And I figured that kind of journey was expected when it came to filming. So when it came to St. Catherine's Hill, it was basically another similar journey, except it was a massive hike upwards in a vertical hill. This is actually where we lost a lot of our actors and our crew members, because they thought we were going to be filming there all the time, so they'd have to make this trek every single day. And, truth be told, that was my original plan. This changed later, thanks to Renato, who I will explain in a moment. Renato's his own episode, man. Like, jeez. But with the actors in place, it was only about 6 months before I had all the costumes and props ready, and it was time to start shooting. However, before we could shoot, we needed money. I'd spent pretty much everything I had making the costumes and the props, and basically everyone who had done anything for us so far had been working for free. It was time to try and get a fundraiser going. And the fundraiser, well, that one's next episode. I'll see you then.